It's 1991, the Soviet Union falls, the Cold War is over, the enemy's gone and the world is at peace, right? And for a minute, it looked like the US had achieved the impossible. Democracy was spreading, capitalism was king, and Washington got cocky. Instead of reevaluating the global trade system, we expanded it. Not because it made strategic sense, but because it made some people rich. And this is the part the textbooks won't tell you. The post-Cold War global order didn't evolve. It was weaponized by elites who saw an opportunity to turn peace into profit. Let's break down what happened. China joins the party in 2001. The US backed China's entry into the World Trade Organization. If we bring China into our economic system, they'll become like us. Free markets will create a middle class, and that middle class will demand democracy. That was the theory anyway. Well, it was dead wrong. What actually happened, China kept its authoritarian system, manipulated its currency to flood the world with cheap exports, used state subsidies to wipe out Western competition, and made itself the factory of the planet at our expense. From 2001 to 2010, the US lost over 2 million manufacturing jobs to China alone. Entire industries disappeared. Textiles, electronics, tools, auto parts. And what did the economists say? Don't worry, those jobs are gone forever, and that's a good thing. And it wasn't just China. In 1994, Bill Clinton signed NAFTA, the North American Trade Agreement. It was supposed to increase efficiency and bring prosperity to all three countries. What it actually did was gut the American Midwest. Factories moved to Mexico, companies pocketed the wage savings, workers got pink slips, and were told to retrain for a service economy. You can't retrain a 52-year-old tool and die maker to become a software engineer. But that didn't stop DC from repeating the lie. Even I bought this lie. Meanwhile, the stock market soared, CEOs got bonuses, and small-town America fell apart quietly. The religion of globalism by the early 2000s, free trade wasn't just policy, it had become a belief system. You weren't allowed to question it. To even suggest tariffs or industrial policy made you a protectionist, or worse, uneducated. But here's what the globalists missed. Global supply chains are only efficient if nothing goes wrong. Dependence on autocracies is only safe if they stay friendly. And hollowing out your own industrial base only works until you actually need it. We outsourced our factories, we outsourced our energy, and worst of all, we outsourced our leverage. Because when you give up the ability to make the essentials, food, fuel, medicine, steel, you give up the power to control your own destiny. And by the mid-2000s, that's exactly where America stood. Bloated, blind, and bound to a global system it no longer controlled. Wall Street got rich, while Main Street got screwed. That's the blunt truth. Globalism didn't fail for everyone. It worked fantastically for the top 10%. Investors made fortunes, corporations cut costs, politicians got donations, academics got tenure. But for the working and middle class, it was an economic funeral march. Health insurance disappeared, wages stagnated, entire regions written off as left behind, as if it was just the natural order of things. This was not a minor side effect, it was the central feature of the system. And it left behind tens of millions of Americans whose only crime was wanting to work in their own country. This wasn't just bad economics, it was a moral failure. And as the 2000s wore on, a quiet anger started to build. People knew the game was rigged. They just didn't have the words for it yet. But then came the spark. The crash of 2008, and with it, the first real signs that this entire global fantasy was already starting to fall apart.